Hello again. I think this is going to be our last stop today. We're going to talk a little bit and introduce you to AutoCAD. Um, I'm an old AutoCAD user. I started out using AppleCAD, honestly, and went to VersaCAD and finally into AutoCAD. And I still draw a lot of things in AutoCAD today. AutoCAD is a great software to use. I can do everything 2D, I can do everything 3D, I can make graphic designs, basically it is a true design software. It is not a parametric, but you can reference things. You can do XREFs between stuff and have it function in a parametric manner, but that's lessons and discussions for another day. Right now, what you see is the startup screen. I just opened my AutoCAD and it shows me my recent documents and I can scroll through them. It gives me a little thumbnail of what I was doing on them. Apparently I was doing building sections and a start of a rendering using AutoCAD, some laser cut outlines and stuff. And that's what I can use for my laser. I can literally draw it 2D instead of drawing it in like Illustrator or like Corel Draw or something like that. I can draw in here and I can attach measurements and make everything as perfect as I can possibly get it and not have to do any funky numbering and set it up for my laser engraver. You name it, I can do it. These kind of things, no problem. Floor plans, I've got a few floating around in there. I got details and stuff. But what it boils down to is this. Okay, it works very simply. I'm going to start a new file. I'm just going to come over here and say, oh, let's start a drawing right there. Now, it pops up a grid for me. I hate my grid. Now, across the top of your keyboard, you know all those little F1, F2, F3, F4, all the way out to F12 buttons? Well, we use them. F7 turns your grid on and off, and I can't stand the grid personally. Now, mine's set up right now to draw on a light background. I normally draw on a dark background, and that's one of those ways that I can tell when I'm in a layout space as opposed to model space. Now down here there's actually 3 tabs, but there's 2 different kinds of tabs. Model space right here is literally the world. It is a model space, and you've got your navigator button over here that is your north, south, east, west, and actually will let you rotate into 3 dimensions, just like in Inventor, just like in Infusion. But I don't tend to use it. I draw 2D in AutoCAD for the most part. I can draw in 3D. I've done a lot of stuff in 3D over the years, but it's clunky to do 3D work in AutoCAD by comparison. But what I normally do is down here, I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to right click right here. I'm going into my options, and I usually use a different color scheme. So if I go right over here, let's see, where is it at? Display, oh, got colors right there. Duh. I usually use a black background. So if I click right here, change my background to be black, apply. Now, apply there and go OK. So what happens here is this. It's a visual clue in my brain whether I'm in model space or paper space. The only difference really is that when I draw in model space, whatever is black or color 0, layer 0, color 7 is what it actually boils out to. If I pull up your color wheel right here, okay, it's color number 7 right there. It's white, but notice it's black here. But so when I go over here and I go to a layout, it becomes a black line. It's a white line in the model space, it's a black line in the paper space. And that's what this is. It sets up your pieces so it works separately. Now, what you're going to find out really quick is this. Your drawing space is here, but it doesn't matter where I'm at up here. If I type anything, I want a line, I type line, I hit enter. Notice what pops up down here on this is what we call the command prompt line right here, command. And it asks me to specify a first point. I can literally draw a line. I can point it out in the direction I want it to go. I can give it X, Y, Z coordinates. Like if I want this to go, say from where it's at to say 1 inch, comma 1 inch, it's going to make it literally a 1 inch line. It's 1 inch over, 1 inch up from the start. Now, say I wanted to go to the origin, I can just type in 0, 0, enter. Okay, it didn't go anywhere. Well, that's because I haven't turned it on. I created a 0 line length. Okay, so I can literally tell it to make whatever I want. Now, as I'm working here, I can also tell it to go, say, at, let's say I wanted to go 2 inches, tab, and I want to give it a bearing. So I'm going to give it a bearing of, say, 175 degrees. That's not quite pointing to my left. Now, straight right is 0 degrees and it counts around counterclockwise, follows your thumb around. So when I do that, it's going to make a diagonal line that goes up and over a little bit. And see how my line stays attached? So I can do that and create all this I want. And I can just click and drag, or I can put in coordinates either way. Now, I want to attach back to that endpoint. How do I do that? Well, if I hold my shift key down and right click, pops up this menu. I can tell it to go find an endpoint. I can pick whatever endpoint I want. It's going to snatch exactly back to it. Hit enter again, and it finishes that shape. Now, E is erase. All gets rid of everything. It selects everything. I hit it one more time, it goes away. And you're going to find out that AutoCAD is really easy to use, especially if you understand Inventor, and vice versa. They work really well together. But this is definitely meant to be used mostly as a 2D drawing software, and it is really easy to use. Basic old school, if you can draw it with your pencil, you can draw it here. Let me give you an example. I go back to my start menu and I pick, let's pick a floor plan right here. Okay, so there's a floor plan. So if I draw a normal flash of floor plan, I'll just draw my floor plan in. I draw the walls in. I want to draw a door on this. I can pick up a layer. It's like picking up a different pen or colored pencil. I pick a door right here, and it's going to swing into that room. So I'm going to go line from right here. I need to have it snap to the endpoint. Well, I'm going to turn my O snaps on by pushing F3. That enables my object snaps, okay, which is the same thing as right-clicking and selecting endpoint. I can point this out. Well, see, that's right about 2'6" across. I'm going to point out this way and go 30 inches and hit my enter key again. So I did a 30, enter, enter, and made a 30-inch diagonal line at the angle I was at. Not at a specified angle, just at an angle I was at. Now, if I want to make an arc, I can come up here and I can say I want to do an arc, and I know where it's going to start. I know where the center is. It's going to end. It's going to start right here. Center is going to be where my hinges are. And it's going to end right at this wall. That's about as rough as it gets. I can also type everything in. I'm an old school DOS user, so a lot of the stuff I do, I type. Like when I start drawing, if I want to do a circle, it's just C. If I want to do a line, it's just L. For Windows-based people, you can pull it up right here. You can also publish to the web, by the way. But it's all relatively straightforward and simple. It's all up to you. How do you want to draw it? Like I said, I still draw 2D most of the time. I draw a lot of my plans, for example, plans and stuff in here, and I draw them in 2D and then project out. It's a great way to learn old board projection methods. It works really well, and it's still the industry standard, to my knowledge, for a lot of firms in this world. So as they move beyond it and move into Inventor, into Revit, into AutoCAD, into what have you, it's getting to be less and less, but it works really well. In fact, this can also be brought over into these kind of 2D drawings, can be brought over into things like SketchUp and Revit and stuff, and then moved into the 3 dimensions and have surfaces applied and all kinds of stuff. But for normal drawing, this is really straightforward and pretty simple altogether. So welcome to AutoCAD. I think it's one of the best software still, and it works really well for us. So thanks for your time.